Wade Bowen, one of our favorites, two-time podcast guest. Well, last time with Randy, and we were just talking about artist bars and Randy owning some. But isn't that like a stage of a career? Don't you see this even in Nashville? It's like you get so respected, so well known. You just like, what else do I do? Like, I'm gonna go open a bar, right? Is that on your radar
Yeah,
eventually?
I've actually owned a barbecue restaurant, a bar. My wife opened an ice cream sandwich shop. I mean, I've tried it all.
Oh,
The
nice.
ice cream sandwich shop and the barbecue restaurant both um, unfortunately suffered because of COVID, so we shut those down. But my bar, Papa Jack's, was in Kyle, Texas, which is just south of Austin. And back in the first part of February, it burned down to the
Oh
ground.
man.
So,
Oh wow.
um, yeah, being the bar business is
No,
it's
it's not
crazy.
easy.
But
What do you look for in a good if you're going to like a dive bar, whether it's Texas or anywhere? What are you kind of your like we've had some of these conversations about what makes a good dive bar a good dive bar. Maybe your bar wasn't a dive bar, of course, but just in general, those like places you can go and there's a silence and you can drink. Maybe it's cash only. Maybe
Maybe
the
maybe a
maybe the
jukebox.
maybe
That's
the
it.
yeah, maybe a little
yeah,
30-year-old TV sitting on a piece of plywood.
yeah. I mean, mine wasn't exactly a dive bar. It was pretty, I would say, on the smaller side. But we tried to make it a little more high end. But my favorite dive bars are the ones that have the coldest beer. I mean, like the kind of, I mean, it's a different kind of cold beer. You walk in
Mm,
and like, oh yeah, that's a beer now.
yeah.
And then, obviously great music on the jukebox. I would always love a good jukebox as well.
And nowadays they're like digital. You have to like, you can like play it on your phone. I feel like it doesn't have the same kind of thing as like putting in cash and flipping through the albums like you used to, and it like would roll up and then like drop down. Like there's something cool about that.
Yeah,
I mean, I don't know if you can even find those that often these days, but
you
Old
can,
Town, Old
you
Town Ale
can.
House.
They're harder to find, but like um, I've got one of those in my house, and you're right, it is different because like I've got a jukebox. It's a CD jukebox. It's not a vinyl one, um, but it's an old school CD jukebox. You hit the button and it flips pages, and it just sounds different. Like the moment I go in that room and hit it and turn something on, some Haggard or Hank Jr. or something, it immediately makes me want to start drinking beer. It just has that sound to it. It's just like, that sounds like a good cold beer. And that
That's,
those digital things do not have that.
no,
yeah.
no. That's me when I walk into the garage and I'm like trying to find something to do. And I'm like, I should probably have a beer right now from the garage fridge because that's within the house. The garage fridge is the best beer in my opinion. But
Yeah, yeah, I
Keep it.
agree, man. Well, that's what my room is. I've got a writing room that's kind of a bar room. It's kind of all a jack of all trades room. And I use it to write. I actually built it to write, and uh, it's turned into kind of more of a bar. But yeah, I have my necessities in there, my vinyl player, and my record player, and I've got all my vinyl in there, and then my jukebox and a bar, and just all the necessities.
Are you
Which
a big
those are necessities. Those are necessities for songwriting too. So they go hand in
yeah,
hand.
are you a big vinyl guy? I imagine you are. Like
I Yeah,
just
I went through a big phase a few years ago, and I've kind of died off a little bit. But um, if I see something now where I just have to have it, I'll still thumb through the antique stores when I can just for fun.
yeah, like some people swear by it, and then other people, they're say like, oh, I can't hear the difference or anything like that. But also, like, I think there's something cool about going to a record store and it's like, I don't know what's going to be there today. Like, a lot of the times the records are old when I go there, and it's like these are used. Sometimes they have new
Yeah,
stuff. They have new stuff too, but like not that much, especially not country where I live here in Chicago. So it's like,
right.
I'm like, I don't know what I'm going to find. And I actually just got Wanted the Outlaws record, and I was just like, oh man, this is awesome. Like there's like a nostalgia feeling and taking you back. And I just think it's like cool. It also makes me more intentional about listening to music, where I'm not just like on my phone playing Spotify in the background. It's like, all right, I'm gonna put this on, I'm gonna sit down, I'm gonna listen to it. It's not like background noise
Yeah,
sometimes, which music can be, you know?
yeah, it's an effort. It takes some effort for sure. I mean, I love the process of that. Um, I think it's funny that my 16-year-old, he's got an old. I bought him an '89 Dodge pickup, and he's
Cool.
got a tape player in there, and he loves it. Like I'm like, hey, I don't really want to mess with the dash. I want it to be original, but if you find a way, and he's like, no, I love it. He collects tapes now. He listens to vinyl.
There you
I literally
go.
just bought him a vinyl last week. I mean, he loves it. So, I think there's something too. I don't think it's just to be cool. I think there's something about the younger generation appreciating the vintage sound is what they're
Mhm.
experiencing. They're liking that process of hearing it the way it's supposed to be heard, the way that
Sure.
we've always heard it. And there is something very cool about just being able to pull up your phone. Where my phone is. To
Yeah.
pull up your phone and access any song you want at any time. Yeah, that's cool. But when you're taking time to actually sit down and listen to music, there is a sound that comes off a record or even a tape player or just it just sounds better.
Mhm. I remember when Spotify kind of was blowing up back in the day, and I tried to explain it to my parents before they had smartphones. It just like wasn't registering. They're just like, "What?"
Nah,
I'm like, "No, yes," because they were born in Europe, and I was like, "You can look up that artist." She's like, "What?" I was like, "Yes."
yeah,
Like, and it was just like it's so funny because one of my few like music memories when I was really young. I remember my dad like teaching me how to like change a tire. We were in the driveway and we had like the radio playing. You would put the tape in and record a song, but you
Yeah.
you got to hit that record button. And if you don't, too late, you miss them at the beginning. If too early, you got the commercial. There's no editing. So it's just like
right.
you just drop what you're doing, you sprint to it, you hit the
Yeah.
record button, and you got that one song ready to go. Um, he's just like I say, kids these days will never understand. It's like I just have like a 1.5-year-old, but I was like, this when he's old enough to care, God knows what it's going to be. You're going to put it contacts in your eyes, and you're going to think you're in Paris. Like you're going to like
No kidding, man. How
seriously,
much
like
further can it go, right?
it's going to go a lot further. I think the AI is going to become contact lenses. I was reading some creepy shit.
Oh my gosh.
And then
Well,
like Elon Musk with the mic with the whatchamacallit thing.
the brain chip will just play the
Yeah.
music in your head, so you could be
So
walking
when you're
out.
thinking of the song, it just starts playing or something. Like,
Wow.
come on.
As a
What the
creator,
heck?
as a creator of art and music, how do you feel about the future? You're just
There's
like,
always
I don't
gonna
know. I
be
mean,
the traditional people, I think, that want the traditional stuff, no matter the age. Like you just talked
right.
about your son.
right. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I mean, I'm having a hard time with the present, so I don't know about the future.
Yeah.
It's it's just as with everything, we adjust and we'll adapt and we'll figure it all out. I mean, I'm on Apple Music and Spotify 99% of the day. So, I
Right.
mean, it is what it is. You adjust with the times to figure it out. And, according to Back to the Future Part 2, we were supposed to be way more advanced by now. So we need
Good
to get it
point.
going.
Good point.
Right. You recently played a show in Nashville, Exit In, had a number of special guests come in, show up. Miranda Lambert, Charlie Worsham was there. What is it like playing with Miranda? And she's a fellow Texan. What's it like sharing the stage with her?
Uh, it's hard to explain, man. She's just, I know she and I have been friends for, golly, I don't even know how long now, forever. But uh, and she'll always be that, friend to me. Just whenever we get around each other, we just pick up right where we left off. I feel like old family, I feel like it's an old cousin or something. I don't know, like a long lost friend that we just picked up right where it is, and it's always a blast. But when she starts to sing, every time she blows me away. You realize why she is a superstar, why she is who she is. And when a few months ago, I caught her show in New Braunfels on an off night. She played on a Sunday or something, and so I finally got to just sit and watch her show, and she's just. I mean, it's the reason she's just won Entertainer of the Year and all the awards that she's done and all the things she's achieved through the years. When you hear her sing, it just feels different to me. It's just something something very special about her. And it's really cool to have nights like that where she shows up and we're such old friends that we don't even know what the heck we're going to do. Just get on
Mhm.
stage and we pull some Keith Whitley out of nowhere or something. I mean, that's the kind of friendships that you love. Those are the kind of friendships that make nights, uh, when you're on stage, they make them special. And Nashville was a very special night because of all of those friends that were there. Leroy Purnell and Red Akins and Charlie Worsham jamming like half the night with us. I mean, it was just a really, really special night.
Also, Charlie, which we've said a million times, but is he not like the most underrated, gifted musician? One of, if not the most, right?
Right.
Like we're always talking about that. Charlie's just like, and
Yeah.
he's one of the biggest sweethearts we've ever met in this business.
Yeah, he really is. And, you know, just seeing him, I've known him probably, I don't know, going on 10 or 12 years now. And it's always been that case. It's been fun to watch him kind of find himself and figure himself out. I think he's in a really happy, good place right now. And it's fun to see him play. My buddy Jed Hughes is a fantastic studio musician in Nashville. And he and I were in West Texas together at the same time. We're the same age. And he's the same way. When you see people being happy with their lives, you watch them play differently and you hear them play differently. And Jed just played on my new record, and Charlie's the same way. Hearing him play the other night, he's just in a really, really good place, and it's really, with his kid and his wife and all that they have going on. He's one of the nicer people I've ever met. And then you see him. The music business has kind of, man, tossed him around like a tornado, and he's still here hanging out and just doing great. And it's always fun to get him on stage to just see what the heck he's going to do next.
Yeah.
He brought his mandolin and
Oh, I know he's got tricks. We saw him at like Joe's Bar like years ago in Chicago, and it was like,
Yeah,
this is fun.
he just shredded till like 3 a.m. Just he was with a few other people, and it was so much fun. He's always a joy to watch him play. Stupid talented.
Yeah.
Like I play a little bit of guitar, very little, and not very
Come on, Wes, you play
very well. And I just like watching that guy. I'm like, I want to quit. Like, forget it. What for? It's over.
Same here. But I look at guys like him and I'm on stage and I go, okay, that's why you pay guys to do that, because I can't do that.
Right. Right.
Well, speaking of obviously like Nashville, Miranda, Entertainer of the Year, superstar. Got to ask you about the big news right now going on about, we posted about it. Eric Church canceled the show in Texas, San Antonio.
Yeah. My buddy had tickets.
Yeah. So here's I'll just like preface this and like you kind of give your opinion, but it's like we obviously love Eric. We love him like a Miranda type, but like anybody who kind of fits into that like mold within Nashville, like we're always fans of it. People know that, and we're not like FGL people and all that, but it was like almost like the reaction that we saw, we're like, oh shit, we were maybe the first site to post about it, and then it was on the front page of the New York Post, and I was like, whoa, this is like catching serious national attention now. I'm a big sports fan. I know you are too. Your last Instagram post is a Texas Rangers thing. I'm a Cubs fan, so we'll see how the year goes for each of our teams, but
we'll see who's worse.
Yeah.
Exactly. Hey, Corey Seager, that's a fun signing, but it's almost unprecedented because there's not really like a point where we can kind of point to be like, oh yeah, no, this happens. It like kind of doesn't in that way. He admitted it was selfish in his response to the fans, but I'm just dying to know for you as a road warrior, as a Texas legend. I don't know, you don't consider yourself a Texas artist, an artist from Texas, but we'll get to that amazing quote. Yeah, but I love that quote you had. We have it in our notes, but it's weird, right? Or I don't know. What do you think?
Right when they got the news, an email was sent out from Ticketmaster, and my buddy got it. He immediately, he's one of my best friends in New Braunfels where I live there, and he immediately sent me a picture of that and was like, man, what the hell? What's going on with this guy? And my initial reaction was a little strange, but I will say this, man, Eric I think he's gotten to where he's gotten to where he is because of his appreciation and his of his fans, and how much he's always catered to them.
Mhm.
And I honestly think this was a knee-jerk reaction from him, because any other person would just do a generic, um, you know, due to unforeseen circumstances or whatever the thing,
Yeah.
you know, I'm not going to be able to wait. Eric has to
Right.
cancel the show in San Antonio, which is normal. I mean, I guarantee this is not the first time that someone's canceled for a sporting event. It's just the first time someone's admitted it. But
Mm.
I think it also shows in his defense, man, like, I don't think it was necessarily right to admit that, but I think in his defense, it shows his care for his fans. He's not just going to come out and give some bullshit excuse and lie to you. He probably regrets it now, but I think he's, you know, this is not a guy that we can, you know, he's not a bad guy. Every time I've been around him, every time I've heard from people, they talk very highly of this guy. And he's obviously doing wonderful things, and like, I mean, takes care of his fans beyond
Right.
as much as, or as well as anybody there is in the industry. So I think, you know, we all make mistakes and we all work through it and figure it out. And just what I've seen from Eric in the past, I think this is something that everybody needs to just relax a little bit and just, hey man, you know, I think he's more than made up for this with previous stuff he's done for his fans. So,
And
and I
our
think he'll
writer,
continue to do that.
and our writer Aaron, who's great, he kind of wrote that article exactly what you're saying yesterday. He was like, yes, shitty move, but look at all these times he's gone above and beyond to be there for the fans. Let's like not
I really
forget that.
think it was from the heart. I think it was
Yeah.
him trying to be there for the fans and say, look, this is an honest response. This is an honest reason I'm not doing this. I'm canceling the show. And I think it's backfired on him quite a bit, where he probably regrets it. But I really think it was sincere and trying to be like honest with, you know, so
Maybe
we all make mistakes, man. None of us are perfect. And
no, yeah.
especially
Maybe
in this day and age, you know, just,
Maybe he
Some-
knows. Maybe he's got those courtside seats, and he's like, I can't get away with like acting like I'm not going to be at the game.
yeah,
He's gonna be on the
exactly. Like, what's he
bench.
gonna say? I'm sick. I've got COVID. And then he's
He's gonna be on the bench like McConaughey, like clapping,
Yeah.
you know, like get on your fucking feet. Like,
yeah. I think also deep down he was like, you know, I don't think I mean, this is the first time we've ever questioned his devotion to his fans.
Yeah.
So if you're going to talk about track records and successful careers of people, and how much they, you know, how hard they work and all those things, I mean, the guy's unblemished. So here's your one mark, buddy. You're good.
Yeah.
That's
And
the way I feel like. I mean, he's a good dude and great music, and I wish him the best. I don't, you know, it's a day and age we need to everybody just needs to relax a lot.
Well, it's just like no matter what happens.
Right.
It's just like,
Yeah, just come on, man. You know,
and we have a
it's
number
one
of
show. It'll be okay. He'll be back. You know.
Right. We have a number of different writers too, and they all kind of weighed in from different perspectives. And like Steve mentioned, one of them was like, you know, let's not forget everything he's done. And then another one is from North Carolina. And she was like, no, you guys don't understand. This is North Carolina Duke.
Yeah.
Like, it's like we would cancel school. Nobody goes to work. Like, it's a big thing. And, you know, so it was like,
Yeah,
and then another one kind of brought up
That's a great
Kobe.
point.
And like another guy from California brought up Kobe, and he was like, man, you know, like Kobe never took a game off because it was, what about that one fan who saved up all their money for that one time? And it's like, so you know, you see it from so many angles, but I don't think anyone, at least here,
he's gonna make it up. That's the thing too. Like he's gonna find a way to like make this right, I think so. But it's like unprecedented news in an interesting way, where it's like
it's weird to see it get
tournaments-
national attention, right?
Yeah, I mean,
It really is. Yeah.
Yeah, but
I mean,
But I will say, you know, it is crazy. I'm not sure that I would do it, but I don't know that rivalry either. I'm a huge sports fan. Man, there's very few things I would cancel, you know, for that. But I mean, you know, I've done it for family events and things like that have come up. Sporting events is different. But once again, I don't know that rivalry. I know this is the first time ever that they met in the tournament, and it's the Final Four. I mean, it's like, man, I don't know. I had courtside seats.
well, it's like we were too young, or not too young, but we were young enough where we didn't have our little kids and whatnot. But as Wes and I like grew up Cubs fans, like when they made that run, my wife's sitting out here, she's gonna get pissed me talking the story. I'm at her brother's wedding in downtown Chicago. I got in trouble, dude. Like they're playing the Dodgers to go to the World Series, and me and a few guys are right. Was Dodgers, NLCS, and I'm like we're in that in between phase of a wedding where you're kind of waiting for the people, you're kind of just drinking. There's no TVs for whatever reason. I was like, so me and a few guys are just watching it on a phone. Then I Google the hotel and I'm like, okay, there's a bar on the 36th floor or whatever. So I just go up there and I start watching it. And I order this like Japanese whiskey that was like $40 a pour. And I'm like, okay, this is not the way I want this to go. But then they win. And then like, I blacked out. I got too drunk at my wife's brother's wedding. And my excuse, I was like, this is a once in a lifetime opportunity. Like, you don't understand what I've been through as a Cubs fan.
Dude, you were texting me to come to the hotel and your wife texted me and goes, you're not fucking coming to my brother's wedding.
So it's like, until you're in that moment, you don't really know. Like, I was like,
what you would do.
I remember being in a high school, 15 years old, like crying when the Cubs lost in 2003. Like, you know, I was like such a little bitch about it. And I'm like, I'm not going to miss this, even if it's on a TV in a bar.
Yeah.
So it's, you know,
well, I always default to, you know, I always give the artist benefit of the doubt just because I am one. And, you know, like I said, whether it was a knee jerk reaction or an honest, true mistake or whatever, and only Eric knows that. But I will say that I've had the Masters on Sunday when I played a gig in the afternoon. I've had it on stage on TV.
You're a big golfer
when I was on stage.
Right? Yeah.
I'm a big sports fan. So, I mean, you know, I will defend. I'll defend him. But
you're a Texas Tech guy too, right?
Yeah.
They killed a parlay for me, by the way. I took them to beat Duke, had the parlay, hit the other two legs, and Texas Tech killed it for me.
Well,
defend them, please.
Well, let me just say this. I'll defend them for you right now. Any other day we beat Duke. In my opinion. There's no way anybody would have beat Duke. There's no way anybody beats a team that shoots when it's a close game and they shoot 71% in the second half. I mean, they still only won by 5 points.
Right.
If they shoot normal, not even bad. If they just shoot normal, we beat them by 10 points.
Right.
So, I mean, we had a great season. You know, we weren't real sure with the coach coming in and what he was going to do with these players, and he just did great. So I'm proud of our boys and proud of our team.
We'll be back.
And we just caught. It's the way the tournament is. You catch people on good days and bad days, and we just happened to catch a crazy second half of Duke, and more power to them. You know, maybe they're a team on a mission with, you know, Coach K's last year. Who knows?
Yeah, and my biggest regret gambling wise, not that we're getting into this, but when St. Peter's was playing North Carolina the other day, I so bad wanted to take them to win by 15 or more, which the payout was. And like, we was like going like, no, they're going to keep it close. And I'm like, phew. And I just like pussied out and I just did like the regular, like North Carolina is going to cover. And I was, but you like add another 10 points to that, which I had. And I was like, ugh. And I was like, fuck. And then I didn't do it. And then you see St. Peter's get their asses kicked.
I took St. Peter's in the points.
There you go. I still won my bet, but I took it, you know, face value. So I was just, but now it's, I had Villanova coming in second. Purdue, I had winning, which was like a long shot.
A homer pick in a way. You're an Indiana boy.
Yeah, I'm from Indiana, so I had Purdue winning it. But it's been fun. I mean, it's been a fun thing. What's your favorite sport to watch? Are you basketball? Obviously, you like golf. You like baseball. Are you a big football fan?
I love football. I love watching football.
Cowboys, I assume.
I love football
or
and golf.
Texans. Cowboys or Texans or?
Oh, Cowboys.
Sorry,
Unfortunately, Cowboys,
I don't know.
man. It's tough being a Cowboys fan.
Not
Tough
really.
being a Texans fan.
Well, I mean, it is tough because you guys always have like high expectations. Does a true Cowboys fan hate Jerry Jones?
I don't think hate is the word.
Frustration?
I think, like me, it's just frustration. I'm not sure that,
He fucked up that Randy Gregory deal. He
the
came
last few years, I think, Steven is doing more than Jerry is
really,
now. So I kind of put more on Steven. Um, I think Jerry's trying the last few years to take a little bit of a step back, probably not much, but a little bit,
more strip
and let
clubs.
Steven do some of the work. So I think a lot of it's falling
Yeah.
on him. Yeah. But as far as hate, no, I don't hate him. I mean, I don't think he's ever come in as like a crazy likable owner with the whole Tom Landry thing and all that happened
Yeah.
there, So I think he's always just kind of been Jerry Jones. As we all know, he's just Jerry.
Yeah. And as Cubs fans, the Ricketts family, they're trying to buy the Manchester United, right?
Chelsea.
Or Chelsea, sorry. And it's like they got their World Series. They're like, okay, we're done. We're done spending money. We made Wrigleyville in Chicago like this destination spot with hotels and fancy restaurants. We're done. We're done spending money. Even though they're billionaires and have money up the ass. Okay, now we're gonna go try to buy a soccer team
for $4 billion, but we don't have money for Cubs players.
Oh my god, that shit gets you fucking fired up, dude. Like, look at the Cubs lineup this year. It's like Schwindel,
AAA players. Like, you look at the Fox.
Hey, but they might be good. They might surprise some people because the division is god awful. But
man. It's tough in baseball too because of no salary cap. So it's like they can spend the money to get the people if they just figure it out. It's like it's unlimited if they want them. If they want to figure it out, they can. And it's frustrating, I think, watching baseball now with some of that. When your team is rough and struggling, you're like, come on, just do a little bit of work and put the work in and figure this out, But
were you guys pretty jacked for that with that Corey Seager signing with the Rangers fans? I mean, big contract, but got to be pretty exciting, right? Great player.
Yeah. And how cool are the Rangers, right? I didn't know that. I don't know if you saw that post I had or they sent me the jersey and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I got this box and I literally had no clue it was coming. And sent to a few of us and had a whole package full of stuff with a jersey and just a letter saying, I know you guys saw it, but I'm explaining for those that didn't. They sent me a jersey with my name on it and with a letter saying, we're just glad to have you as a Rangers fan. We don't want anything back. You don't even have to post about this. We just want to say thanks. I was like, man, that's a class act. I absolutely love it. And I think they're, I've noticed over the last few years, they've been trying really hard to do things like that. So hopefully we'll continue to get better, man.
Yeah.
It was a fun few years there for a while,
There's some talent there.
It'll be,
hey, when you start in 1 week, we're all excited. We're all, you never know. But
yeah. It's time to watch Major League. Time to bust out the movie Major League.
Right.
I'm a huge fan of Major League. It's such a good movie. Let's get back to music for a minute. One of the quotes Steve mentioned earlier is, he said, I'm not a Texas artist. I'm an artist from Texas. And you said there's a difference. Like, what does that necessarily mean? Because I feel like lately that's become kind of a talking point with Texas country artists. And there's such a huge umbrella under that, in the sense that, like, you have guys like Co Wetzel who kind of fall under this Texas country artist umbrella, Whiskey Myers as well. But they kind of make, Whiskey Myers makes rock and roll music. Co is kind of in his own, like, almost his own brand of kind of what he does, rock influence stuff. So can you kind of elaborate a little bit more on that?
Well, I think, Texas music has become almost a genre, for its own thing, right? I mean, Red Dirt, Texas, they still haven't classified what the actual name is yet.
Right.
But I think it's become its own genre. And so I think I love that. It's great. And I'm a huge, it's been a huge part of my career. But I've also, I've played Chicago. I've played places all over, I played Europe and other places that don't necessarily want to see Texas all the time. They want to hear different characters, different stories and different things. And so I've always, like you take George Strait, for example. I mean, even Miranda, for example, she's she's an artist from Texas, and her music, but her music is universal. And I think there's music, Texas music that is very Texas, and it's greatest strength, and it makes it beautiful and amazing. And then I think there's music from Texas that can be more universal and heard all over and be, I get complaints all the time of people outside of Texas going, man, what is it with you guys in your damn state? Why do you have so much pride? Why do you always talk about it? Why is it always Texas, Texas, Texas? So it's just a little bit of that. Just, hey, look, I'm not trying to like just wave the Lone Star flag everywhere I go. I want everybody everywhere I go. I want people to feel like it's a part of their journey, not just Texas.
What's one of your what are some of your favorite states to play that are outside or cities or whatever outside of Texas? Obviously, you mentioned Chicago, and I'm in Colorado now, and I see that pride in your home state here. Like I never saw living in Illinois and Chicago. Like people here they literally get license plates that say native just to make sure you know. So I was just curious, like what other parts of the country that do you really get a kick out of?
I actually love playing California. When we get out there, I love the scenery and the people, and we have a lot of fun out there. I've always loved when we've gotten a few chances to play in Boston. I've loved Chicago. I've loved almost everywhere I've played in Colorado. It's just absolute blast. I don't know. I mean, I just love getting out. I love one of my, one of my favorite shows I've ever done was an acoustic show in Munich, of all places. It's like they just kind of pop
Awesome.
up randomly where you just like hit you and slap you across the face, like Will Smith. They're just like, man, what the heck just happened? That was a great crowd, So it's fun when that happens. And Munich, I've only played Munich one time, and I cannot wait to go back. It's one of my favorite cities I've ever been in as far as playing shows. So you just never know, man. I just love playing music, and I love getting out, seeing new places, new towns.
And when you're in a place like Munich, like I imagine you get like people, you probably hang out, right, and talk with people because you don't get to go there that often. Are there like
Yeah, for sure.
diehards, like diehard fans who like know your catalog and everything?
There's diehard fans. There's diehard Texas music fans. There's diehard country music fans who are
Yeah.
just, obsessed with anyone that plays country music. They want to come over and meet you, and they listen to music differently. I'm sure you've heard that multiple times, but they really do. I mean, I'll be playing an acoustic show, and they would literally not make a sound until you hit the last strum, and then the note rings out. Not even when you hit the last strum, but they'll like
Yeah.
wait for it to ring out a little bit. They have such a respect for music and art over there that they don't want to insult you. It's really, really, really neat to be a part of. And so we'll go visit after the shows with everybody, and it's a lot of that. It's a lot of we're fans of you because of this. And there's a lot of why didn't you bring Randy with you? I get that every damn night. The
Like
duo of the year, right? It's like,
they wouldn't
I
let
guess
him
we're
on
a
the
duo
plane.
band, duo group. Yeah. He's
I'm
too
always
drunk. He's drunk somewhere.
I always love it seems like they do a lot of what is the C2C was
The C2C festival, yeah.
but
Yeah.
there's
Yeah.
also just like in general, like when artists like yourself go, like there's like a different like Cadillac 3 or Kip Moore or yourself, like they get so excited for these artists that are like legit, real, like gritty type of artists versus like it's like you don't see Florida Georgia Line going over there and be like, hey, like everybody's like, yes, like it's
Yeah.
real music that they get excited for, to your point, which I always loved. And
Yeah.
my parents would talk about that growing up, like before they came to America, like they're like, yeah, like George Jones, Johnny Cash, and this and that. And they come here, they're like, what the hell is this? Like these days when I put
Right.
on radio, they're just like, I don't know what. Like it's not what we were into when we were going to the bars when we were 20, but yeah.
Yeah. I think they like authentic
Yeah.
stuff. And I think they really embrace people that can just pick up a guitar and sing.
You talk about the Texas Rangers things. I was on your Instagram and there was a video you had Tito's and Topo Chico, I think, in one glass, and then Shiner, which I know you're a Shiner guy. I love Shiner. I literally
Love
just
Shiner.
had some last night.
I almost bought
Um,
Shiner for this podcast, and then I was like, I'm not going to give them free advertising.
Even my wife, who's like, I hate seeing dark beer in a glass. She's like, oh, I'm not gonna like that. I'm like, trust me, try this, and she liked it.
It's
But
great.
you kind of did like a little like double. That's not an actual thing, is it? Or is that you were just is that a way to go?
Like, that's
No,
what I
just
do.
I mean, you can go there. You can go there if you want, I guess, but I don't. It was just being there. We're filming all this stuff. They came over to my house, like to that jukebox room. That was the room we were in right there, and they just came over doing content, trying to film this, that, and they're just, you know, happened to catch me when I thought we weren't filming. So
The Topo Chico vodka thing, I don't think I've ever had, but was that a grapefruit Topo Chico?
it was actually a lime. It's my
Lime,
favorite.
okay.
The lime, Topo Chico lime with Tito's vodka will change your
What?
life.
Dude, I can't even find Topo Chico here.
What?
Really?
We just bought a 12-pack of bottles. We got it in the garage. Like,
Every time I try and go to the store, they're out. Like, they just don't have it. I don't know if they're not shipping it here or what's going on. Is it on a boat
they're
off,
shipping it to Colorado.
off the coast of Los Angeles? I don't know what's going on.
Yeah, you can get the regular Topo and put some lime in there, but I still like the Topo lime better.
Yeah.
Good luck on finding it. Really good if you do.
The grapefruit's
It'll
great
make-
too. I like.
I'm
Yeah, the
a
grapefruit.
huge fan. One of your most recent releases, Glory of True Love, John Prine. Talk us through that a little bit. Such a good cover. I mean, such a great song. John Prine, Chicago guy, big fan, obviously, but
Yeah, you know, Bruce Robson has that thing he does called the Next Waltz, which is
yeah,
who
of course.
and you know, Bruce started doing that years ago. He calls his studio the bunker
Yeah.
and kind of does a throwback thing where he just gets you out there, puts some band guys in the studio, and he records everything analog, so it's all a tape. Nobody rehearses. Nobody knows really what the heck is going on, including me. And get out there and go through some songs. And sometimes it's yours, and sometimes it's random cover songs like this John one. I mean, there's no plan, which is the way he wants it, the way he likes it. And it's really cool. Everyone has to listen to each other. They have to kind of play off the vibe in the room going on. Everyone's in the same room, which is very rare for the studio nowadays. And he just tries to capture magical little moments that happen. I mean, that day, for example, we probably tracked 3 or 4 different songs, and this one turned out to be one of our favorites. And so, he records it all and puts it all out there, gets it all kind of done up, and then he just kind of calls you every now and then and says, "Hey, you remember that song we recorded 3 years ago? Is it cool if I put that out?" And so we worked with him on the deal. It's been a little confusing because we had the EP and then this,
Yeah.
and releasing songs and all that in between, but it is a separate project. And anything Bruce says, I'm in. Bruce is one of my favorite people, one of my heroes, and as a songwriter as well. So it's usually if he says, "Hey, come on down," I'm in.
Yeah, those Next Waltz projects are absolutely phenomenal. Just like some of the best singers, songwriters, just all working together. And is there a little bit of like anxiousness when you're in the studio in that kind of sense where you're like, I don't know what to do? Like, is like you're kind of winging it almost?
Yeah, you would think there would be, but just knowing going in that that's the way it's going to be, everyone's in the same boat. You just it's kind of cool. You're all just figuring it out together. And, I'd done this thing called the Sequestered Songwriters during COVID.
Yeah.
Where we all, passed songs around from Facebook page to Facebook page. And Glory of True Love was the one I did on John Prine night. So I kind of brought that in. Hey, what do you think about doing this one? And kind of created our own little version of it. So, I mean, it's kind of cool what comes out of nothing, which is what Bruce's whole point is. It's, you just get some talented people in the room and who share a common goal, and that's to try to record something cool. And it's amazing what, imagine how many times you've sat around with musicians backstage or wherever you hang out with them, doing what you guys do, and how many times you wish you were recording just by listening to someone play a song at the bus or whatever. And that's kind of what Bruce is trying to capture. And it's really cool when he actually gets it right.
Yeah.
Obviously that's a great cover, but I don't know if you ever get bored and go on YouTube and see some of the bad covers people do, like when a song becomes popular. Tennessee Whiskey came to mind. Obviously Chris Stapleton was like third or fourth on the list of covering that song, but when he made it what it was more recently, you would just go on YouTube and search that song. You want it to blow your head off because like people that can't sing are just trying to like what's going to happen? You're going to sing it better than him. And then you're going to get what's going to happen here. So like, is the cover thing, I know is like a touchy subject with some people. It's like, do it when it means something, not when it doesn't. Do you ever get into this mode of like, you go on your Instagram discovery and you see all the bad covers people are doing there? I don't want to name any names, but you pay attention to some of that stuff that's going on in the country music world. People are trying to cover music. Maybe they don't say who they're covering, put it on TikTok, that type of thing.
Yeah.
You see that?
Yeah, I've seen a lot of that TikTok. A lot of the covers. Yeah. You know, I know what you're talking about when you mentioned like kind of a touchy subject, which always blows my mind. I've always been the complete opposite. Like I love cover songs.
So do I. I like it. I like it, especially when you're at a show.
Yeah, I mean, I think and I take a lot of pride in the cover songs and the finale songs and things like that. I think it can really enhance your show, but it also shows your personality and what you love, and you know, like it really gives a fans a glimpse into, you know, what you're digging or what you're thinking about at the time. And I agree with you on the Tennessee Whiskey. Like, there's no way you're going to sing it better than Chris Stapleton. Let's not even try that one. But I do love covers, and I've always loved covers. And I get asked a lot, like, what's some advice you can give to new and up and coming artists and songwriters? And that's the first thing I say is learn the cover song, learn your heroes' songs, learn the intros, learn how they arrange stuff. I mean, learning cover songs is the best way to figure out the craft and why, you know, Guy Clark or John Prine put this verse there or this bridge there or this chorus there. I mean, it's so much fun. And then to go out and play something, when you choose the right cover in a show, it's really fun to watch the crowd's response and reactions. And every now and then they'll work their way onto a record for me, and that's even more fun. That's the way my version of Please Come to Boston came about. It was just a family story from me loving it from years and years and years of listening to it, and it ended up making a record because we were covering it at the time, and so it ended up making the record because we were just, hey, why not? You know, this is a different version. This is a very unique version, and why not give it to people? And so I think when it's done right, it can be a really great tool.
Is that a weird legal process? Like, I actually don't know how that works. Most fans probably don't. When you want to cover a song, is like, hey, team, reach out to that team, and is it pretty quick for the whole like copyright?
On a record?
Yeah, like, is that like a headache or is it pretty seamless?
No, it's pretty seamless. You have to get you don't have to get permission, but you have to pay for it. So so someone has to get, if I write a song, someone has to get permission from me to record it. But if I release it to the public, then anyone can record it at any time. They just have to pay. It's kind of crazy, but that's the way it works.
Okay. Is there a standard like fee, like royalty fee, or is it something that's?
Yeah, you go through different agencies and pay a mechanical and a statutory rates for them, and there's you're just paying the rates for them, man. It's crazy, but
not as complicated as I thought it would be.
Yeah. It's legislated.
People think that it's going to be so difficult, like, oh, I can't do that. No, I mean, once it's thrown out there, that's why it's such a process to get a song written and get it out there, because you want to make sure it's done by the right person at the right time. And then, I mean, if tomorrow I wanted to cut a George Jones song, it's got to get the licenses and pay for it.
Oh, nice. before we let you go
Now
here, I wanted to ask you before we let you go. We were talking about some live shows. Wes, I think you were talking about Randy earlier, and so if you're really hungover, what's your go-to hangover cure? And pre-show, do you have a ritual? Do you do a shot? Do you have any superstitions? What's kind of the Wade Bowen get ready to
routine?
Yeah.
Getting ready for a show, I usually start about an hour before. I'll have a drink, and then kind of get in my own little element where I try to get away from people. And then right as we're walking on, we all meet up on the side of the stage in our meeting spot, and I have a prayer that I say pretty much the same every night. Throw in a few extra things here and there based off what's going on with our band or families at the time, but have a pretty standard set saying that we say every night together, huddled up, and then we go on stage. As far as the hangover medicine,
we're two new dads, so the hangover with a young child is you can't almost fucking function.
I don't even want to deal with it. So it's like, I'm trying to avoid it.
Yeah, it's almost, well, obviously, it's easier to just not have a hangover. I mean, it's like, right. Man, my wife actually quit drinking. My wife quit drinking when my son was 6 months old. She woke up on New Year's Day after a New Year's Eve. This was 16 years ago. And she felt so bad. And I had gone on to play another show somewhere on New Year's Day. So I wasn't there to help her. She's not had alcohol since. She's like, this is it. This way again. So it can be, I get it. Like when the baby doesn't care, those babies don't care when you're hungover in the morning. They're going to act the same and still need and want, cry, whatever. So I don't know. The answer would be, I don't know if there is an answer, man. I mean,
barbecue and a Bloody Mary.
Yeah. Barbecue and a Bloody Mary in the morning.
That's like my thing every Saturday, Sunday morning is like, I take the kid and the dog and we go out for a few hours and we go play basketball. We run around. And I'm like, that's my moment to like forcing myself. If I have like a little bit of a lag from drinking the night before, gets rid of it. And then, by the time he goes out for a nap.
I chug one of those emergency packs. I chug a liquid IV, both of them in the same water bottle.
Okay.
And then crush some Mexican food if I can find it.
Yeah, Mexican food is my favorite.
I'll find something else equivalent, but
nice. I mean, that's it.
That's a good emergency cure.
If we ask Cole Wetzel this, he would say more vodka or something.
Yeah, hair of the dog. Yeah, for sure. I mean, that really is the best answer.
I mean, I'm a hair of the dog fan. That's kind of what I do. I'm like,
But once you get to a point where it's
degenerate behavior.
If I'm on the road for 2 weeks and I'm doing the hair of the dog, I mean, that's, I'm not Cole Wetzel. I can't.
Your insides are like liquefied, like you put ground meat in a blender, and that's your insides. That's what it's like. What I'm picturing. Yeah. You got to come home and be normal. You're like, I have inflammation.
Right.
Yeah,
absolutely.
And I was young like Cole Wetzel once, but I can't do that anymore. So it's, the hangovers hurt more than they used to is one of the best most true country lines ever written.
Yep.
Is it Lee Bryce? There's that song, The Whiskey Used to Burn. I don't know if that was a cover.
Yeah.
But like, that's so true. As you get older, like when you're a kid, you accidentally take your grandma's little whiskey out of her glass or whatever, her little crystal glass that she's had for 40 years. Like you want to puke your brains out, and then you become a 33-year-old father and you have a 1.5-year-old and you're like, you take it and it's just like relaxing. It's just like life changes fast. Like,
yes, it does.
All right, wait.
Hey, I got stuff for y'all. Since I love what y'all do. Y'all always have crazy cool headlines and stories and everything. So you should get into what's the greatest country line written. So I'll put two. I already threw one. The hangovers hurt more than they used to for old some bitches like me. Another great country song, another great country line in a song. There's times I'd like to bed down on the sofa and let some pretty lady rub my back. I mean,
Right.
come on.
I mean,
I'm writing songs right now in the back of
Yeah.
this, but I come up with that line and I'm thinking, no, I'm not going to put that in there.
right.
One of the
Do you,
greatest.
do you jot down some of your favorite lines and like kind of like not use it as like a way to write, but use it as inspiration? Just kind of
Oh,
be
yeah.
like, yeah.
Oh yeah, sure. Yeah. I mean, when I hear lines like that, or even lines that make me laugh, you know, I'll write them down, or maybe it sparks a little something off of that, you know, for sure. I mean, that's
Yeah.
Have you heard of
what
this?
I live off of. I made a living off of being a fan of great lines. You know, my favorite written line ever is from Springsteen. He says, oh Jesus, I'm drawing a blank now.
Hey, little girl, is your daddy home?
No, nobody's covered that song.
That is, oh yeah. It's
Nobody's ever covered that. Wes.
nobody's covering that one. Or Sweet
But-
16.
Oh,
16. Don't cover that one either.
uh,
It's in Better Days. It's sad as a man who lives in his own skin and can't stand the company. It's a great line.
yeah.
Yeah.
Right. Right.
That's one like you got to take a hit of the wheat pen and hear that over and over again. You're just like, fuck.
It just spins around your head. It's like-
Better and better, man.
Love it.
Have you
Love it.
ever heard of this guy called Wheeler Walker Jr.? He's got some good ones.
Oh yeah.
Is
He's
is-
got some all-time
wait,
classics.
hold on, real quick. Like, we'll end it here. So I was playing. My wife was like, "Oh, I like this," and then I was like, I know she kind of doesn't like when he gets kind of into his like fucking and stuff, but the newest one, my girl's what's it called? What's my girl's a country girl or think
She's
I like,
a country music fan.
she's a country music fan. It's not even labeled explicit on Spotify because have you heard it? How he pauses? She's a cunt. Tree music fan.
Oh my
Oh,
god.
you tell me. This was my question. Do you guys have to submit your lyrics to Spotify? Because you know they have the lyrics and all that stuff. Because if they did, they would look at it and say this isn't provocative.
It's
or
clean.
vulgar or
It's a
anything.
clean.
Every single song of his is labeled explicit except that one because of how he does the pauses. And I'm like, it's my favorite song he's ever released. He just did it last week or 2 weeks ago, but
I'm gonna check it out.
I think you'll have a kick out of it. And our some of our female employees were slacking us yesterday, like how much they love the song.
Yeah, they thought it was
Like,
nice.
so it's just like a good country song, and he works with like Dave Cobb and
Dave
shit.
Cobb's his producer, so
Yeah, so it's, you know you're gonna get good shit. You know, it's not.
yeah. Before we
It's clever as hell.
get out of here, Wade, what do you got going on the rest of the year? New album, new EP, new music, tour. What's going
You know,
on?
we just released that EP back in November. It's called
Yeah.
Where Phones Don't Work. We're releasing Phones Don't Work. We released that video. So that's the single currently now. And then once that runs its course, I have already a brand new record in the can. It comes out in August 12th. Will be that one. So lots of new music, lots of stuff happening, lots of tour dates.
Do we have a title on the new album? Can we do breaking news right now?
Yeah, it's called Somewhere Between the Secret and the Truth. Long
I
time.
like that.
Like that.
But I'm
Like,
really
almost-
excited. I feel like it's the best thing I've ever done. And
You got some who else is co-writing on it, or is it all you?
I 12 brand new songs. I co-wrote every single one, but I mean, I don't know. I don't want to get too far into it.
Yeah,
I'm
that's
just,
all good.
my whole deal is right now. I'm loving playing music more than I ever have. I'm loving writing it more than I ever have. I'm loving singing it. I'm loving playing shows more than I ever have. And so our theory for the last year has been write, record, get it out. And so that's what we're going to be doing. I even had a chat this morning with Randy about the next Hold My Beer record. So
Hell yeah.
Oh, nice. We
we're
love
just
those.
gonna be throwing stuff at you, nonstop, because I just I love it, man. I always say I'll quit playing music whenever I stop loving it. And I feel like right now is just, I've never loved it as much as I do. So hopefully that means good things.
Yeah, I would say for me, Wade, you're personally one of like the cornerstone artists of the Texas country scene for me, who introduced me to that in a lot of ways.
Same.
So I love you for that, and I'm just always
you.
excited to see what you're putting out every
Yeah.
time you drop something new.
We love you, buddy.
Thanks so much, guys. I really appreciate it. You know, I try really hard to put, I want everything I put out there to have everyone go, okay, man, he really puts a lot of hard work and thought into everything he does. And that's my number one goal. You know, I've been asked that question for years, you know, where do you want to see yourself 5, 10 years, whatever. It's like, I just want people to look back and think, man, everything he did was quality. Everything he did, he tried, even if it sucked, he tried really hard to make it a point, you know, and
Yeah.
I really feel like the stuff we're doing now is the best I've ever done. And I feel like there's like this, I don't know what it is. I feel like there's another thing going to happen with my career, whatever it is. I really feel good, better than I ever have. And so I appreciate the kind words and the support, man. I'm happy to chat with you guys anytime you want. I'm a fan of what y'all are doing. So keep it up.
Hell
Keep
yeah, we
making it
appreciate
laugh.
it. Yeah. Hell yeah, we appreciate it,
Just
buddy.
try.
Wade Bowen.
Wade Bowen, everybody.
Love you, man.
Cheers, guys. Thank
Cheers.
y'all.
Yep.